Okay, hello everybody. This is Stephen with the KW Hudson Valley United office. Today, I wanted to get a quick video done just because it's something that is touched on in my other videos, but this one's literally directed towards sending out forms. So let's just get a little bit more targeted with it so you guys understand. We're going to be accessing Docusign through command, and the reason why we're doing so is because when you create an opportunity in command, which is a deal, right? It just means if you're a buyer, a listing agent, a tenant, landlord, whatever it might be, that's the opportunity. So where's the opportunity? What is it? Is are you the buyer side, listing side, etc. Then when you create it and you put in the address, like for a listing, for example, and you do all of this work, and then of course you want to actually pick a property, right? So if you this is a real thing, this is an existing opportunity that I did for an example. Okay, I have a client associated with it. It's a listing, but I don't have any listings picked, right? So we're going to pick United States of America, of course. And we're just going to use this as an example, okay? So this is not any kind of real thing that I'm dealing with here, but it's for argument's sake. So as you can see, it went from synced to edited, okay? So that means that it's going to readjust the form. So if I hit sync transaction now, it's going to transition whatever information was in the address lines for the paperwork, and it's going to change it to what it says now, right? So for these edited sections, when I open up a purchase offer, for example, it's going to say 123 William Street, New York, 10038. Okay. Now, is that a big deal if you had to do it separately? No, of course not. But I'm the kind of person where I want to have everything together. Okay. I want to make sure that I'm saving my time. So I just refreshed the page after I synced it. And as you can see, everything's going to be updated on the paperwork now. Again, this is targeted towards paperwork. We're not going to be touching on anything else. So we're going to go to documents. Okay. And then as you can see, it's going to say, well, Steve, there's a couple of things that are required when you just list the property. Okay. When you're about to just list it and put it out to the public, right? So it's saying that most immediately, I need the exclusive right to represent, I need the agency disclosure, and I need the housing discrimination disclosure. And what it's also notifying me of is that these forms are also in DocuSign. That's what this DS means. Theoretically, after all the fixes that DocuSign has been going through over the past few months, we should very much see these documents in there when we open this up. Now, I can't remember if I've already done that before or used this example truthfully, so they might already be up regardless, but however, they should populate into your DocuSign room when you go to that step. So a lot of people get here and they go, well, Steve, what do I do now? I don't really see what I'm supposed to do. First of all, too, when you get to the document section, all this is blank. And over here on the left, it's going to say pick your checklist type where it currently says residential. You would click that black arrow and simply select the kind of deal of real estate that you're dealing with. So, of course, in this case, it's residential. You know, it's not a short sale, it's not vacant land. We're just going to keep it on residential. And then command will go ahead and populate each section of the deal with what paperwork is required, right? So that way we understand at the bare minimum what's required for us to be legally compliant. When we're ready to start sending out the paperwork and actually do get some things signed, get the purchase offer signed, get the ball rolling a little bit, you're going to hit the go to transaction over here. So, just as a heads up, what this is going to do as a precursor is it's going to create, I've used this example probably 10,000 times since I've started. All it's doing is make an electronic filing cabinet for listing 300 Oak Road Lane. So, it's going to create a special place in your DocuSign account where all your files are accessed for this particular deal. That's all it means. It's not a complicated thing. It's pretty freaking sweet. I love it. I think it's a really great way to make the process streamlined. And as I said, it looks like I was right, and they're actually already in here. It looks like I may have already edited them, but I changed the address. So let's see if I open the commission statement if it's changed now. It might not be, but let's just see. Okay, it was. Excellent. Remember when I said the information was synced and then it said edited and then I refreshed the page and then now look at that. Not a huge deal. So you can always, yes, you can go to DocuSign externally and you don't have to always go through command, but I always tell people and encourage them to go through command, create the opportunity, and then open up your DocuSign room through your opportunity in command. I think it just makes the most sense and it keeps everything together so there's no confusion and disorganization. Overall, just very helpful. We need to get this stuff signed. It looks good. So what we could do, the first thing, right? We could open up something in here. Oh, we'll open that up again. This looks good. The biggest thing I'm stressing to people too is when you add a document into Docusign, and let me just show you how to do that first. At the top right here, you see where it says add. You can go ahead and click that. And then you're going to want to hit Docusign Forms, okay? If you had a form that they requested or something else that was needed that's not in here, you would just pull it off your computer, of course, because it's provided by you. But if it's a Docusign form, it's something that get signed and that we have, you just use the Docusign Forms section. And then it's going to tell us that, okay, well, we're a residential listing buyer, excuse me, residential listing agent in this case. So these are the forms that we need. And guess what? They're already in here because I've added them in here. But if they weren't added in here, it would say required in red text. And then you would just simply select all 5 and hit add selected. All right. And then that would populate all that paperwork into the document section of this particular deal, which is listing 300 Oak Road Lane. Where we have the exclusive agency disclosure, we've got even got a lead paint, which we don't even need. But in this case, we don't need it. You will need this for some properties. Let's just pretend that we're going to send out these 2 documents. Okay. Now, to send out these documents, we need to obviously select them. So whatever we want to send out, that we're ready to send out, that we've briefed our clients on, that we understand everyone's on the same page about, we're going to go ahead and select exclusive right to sell and the commission statement. Again, if it's not, you just added this form and you want to adjust it before you send it out, you need to open it up, take 2 seconds, just look at it, right? Look at everything on here. If you need help with the paperwork, you can always talk to me or Lori, and we'll try to help you through that. No problem at all. But yeah, make sure it's good. Make sure it has all the information it needs before you send it out to your clients. So we'll pretend that it's good. Maybe it's really not. We're gonna pretend it's good. Great. We've selected this by selecting the little box up here, and we've also selected this one as well, right? So we have these 2 documents selected. At the top here, where it has sections, there's going to give you a lot of different options. Now, I could just download the forms, print them out, and then bring them to my listing appointment and get it done that way. And also, all new agents, you are on a smart plan that you are given access to all the forms for the office. So that's why I always tell people to keep an eye on their email, because I do give you all the forms in a drive just in case you aren't able to, understand DocuSign quickly. You have a lot of things going on in your life, whatever it might be. At least you have access to those forms, right? But again, we're going to focus on sending these out electronically. So we're going to create an envelope, okay? And what that does is it just packages those 2 documents together, like you see right here, and it gets them ready to be sent out. So in this case, we just have the purchase offer and the commission statement. Or excuse me, exclusive right to represent, and also, whatever you could say, and commission. The commission statement probably won't even go to your clients. It'll probably just go to your attorney, but we're just going to, argument's sake, keep it in there. Again, you can click on these and hit view if you want to double check that they're the right form. They are. We're going to go to add recipient, okay? Pre-tagged roles. Now, people say, what's the difference between these 3? Okay, so the office has gone in and tagged where the required signatures are needed, okay? So for pre-tagged roles, if you select that and then you put all the corresponding recipients in the right spot, when the paperwork gets sent out, you will not have to be sweating or be worried that people signed in the wrong spot, because pre-tagged roles kind of avoids that issue. So I would always use pre-tagged roles when you can. However, if you don't want to do that, of course, you can just do email address. You would leave it on needs to sign, because of course this person needs to sign. And then you would put in their first, last name, and their email. And then it's electronically sent to said person, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and select the other 2 that we need. The other couple boxes here. We don't need this one, so we're going to get rid of that one. And now it's saying, okay, seller 1, seller 2, and a listing agent. So that's all we need in this case, right? Because we have the exclusive right to represent the listing clients, right? So if they're selling their home, they need to sign on to this agreement. The commission statement, it's more for me. It's an acknowledgement of what I'm getting paid, and it's going to my attorney for records and also payment, okay? Seller 1, let's just say Rebecca Kane. And seller 2, we'll use Heather. Okay. And we'll say the listing agent's me. Okay, I'm helping these knuckleheads get a nice home. Or sell their home. All right, so 1, 2, oh yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. 1, 2, 3, Steven, what does that mean? Okay, when you have all the information in these boxes filled out, you're going to have the option to send this paperwork in order. Okay, so let's avoid the slow pokes and go to the left where it has all these numbers and change them all to a 1. Steven, what does that do? Well, what this does is it's going to send out the paperwork to everybody at the same time to ensure that everything gets signed the fastest and most efficient way possible. If you leave these numbers as 1, 2, and 3, of course it didn't change to 2. Please change. Excellent. When I sign, then Heather will get it. And then when Heather signs, then Rebecca will get it. So we have to keep playing leapfrog and keep waiting for each person to sign in order for the paperwork to progress. So we really want to avoid that, right? I would always say that once you have all these boxes filled out, then you change the numbers to a 1. If you try changing these boxes before, it will not let you and it'll keep changing. So make sure you have everyone's information correct, it's filled out, and then you can change the number. Also, if someone needed to be added just to receive a copy, you could do that as well. You see all these options here. But in this case, they are all required to sign. Now, this is what goes out to your actual clients or agents involved in the deal. So you want to say exclusive right to rep and commission statement. Now, if you've already spoken to them about it, you might not need to say anything in the message. They already are kind of been briefed on it. I'm going to say blah, 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 because of course that's very informative and we understand everything from that. So we're going to go ahead and hit next. In all seriousness, in that spot, just give them a little bit of context about what you're doing, right? Just what are you sending them? Why do they need to sign it? Just give them a little bit of context. Or call them, pick up the phone, just call them, let them know. Great. Not going to go over the actual paperwork and logistics of it itself, the grammar, all that fun stuff. What I want to do is just scroll down to the bottom to show you why we do pre-tagged roles, okay? You see these different color boxes, and you look at the top left up here, and it has Rebecca Kane selected. But if I click that box, it's going to populate it with the yellow box, which is Heather, down here, and the purple box, which is the listing agent, which is me, which is the authorized representative right here. That's why we do pre-tagged roles, right? Because it's going to tell us where we need to sign to make sure we're okay. Here's the owners, aka my clients. So they would both sign here. And that's because we picked pre-tagged roles that those spots are here. And then on the actual commission statement, the clients don't need to sign this. Okay, it's just for my attorney and for me, really. So, and the office does need a copy of this for when you close. We do need a copy of the commission statement. So, I don't need to add anything else here for the clients because they don't need to touch that. But if there's something up here that I needed to adjust or bring in, right? Maybe there's just a special situation, whatever it might be. If you needed to adjust the form for the client, you would simply go to the top left and find your clients. So Heather and Rebecca are my clients, right? If I bring in a blue box that has text and I can shorten it and make it smaller and do whatever I need to do, if I do that, I can type in it now, or I can leave it blank, and I can hit send, and it's going to go out to everybody, and then when Rebecca comes to the spot, it's going to let her type in it. Okay, so when you are going over your paperwork, look on the left here, look over the paperwork, and make sure you don't think there's any spot that you might need to drag in for the client to add information or just adjust something in general. So if I wanted Heather to sign something up here, of course, she probably doesn't have to in a real situation. So, okay, this part, what is the buyer's agent getting? Because the listing agent selects the commission rate for the buyer's agent. So that is important. Probably the agent and the clients, we kind of discuss that, but whatever. Let's just say that Heather, for some reason, Heather is filling this out. I leave that there. I could leave it blank again and then hit send, and then she can fill it in, or I could fill it in now. Okay? So that's kind of the idea, guys. It's pretty simple to use. The more that you use it, the more comfortable you're going to feel with it, of course. But guys, we're always here for you. We're always here to answer your questions. And this stuff really is easy. It's just you have to use it a couple of times and let it really stick in there because the videos and the classes, they help, but I know many of you are experiential learners where you need to make sure you're doing it yourself and you're following along and you can do all of this yourself without, having to ask any questions. So I totally get it. But remember, your team is always here for you and we're happy to help, seriously. All right. That was kind of my tutorial. All right. Pretty basic guy, but nonetheless, it should help you. When you're ready to set out the paperwork electronically to everybody, that's where it's going to go when you hit send. It's going to go right to their email inbox. And then let me see if I can pull up an example of something. I can't. Okay. Well, we'll go back to DocuSign. No worries. Anyway, um, guys, any questions? My cell phone's 845-798-2494. Always happy to help you, and Lori as well, and any of the other ASCs. If you guys have any questions, you could also send me an email, asc.hvu@gmail.com. As always, it's been a pleasure serving you. Have a great night.